Hello everyone, T-Man978. Right now we are going to be looking at Good Smile Company Figma, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom version deluxe edition. And right now we're seeing something I didn't see in the review. I watched the actual packaging and how that came out. Like it actually has this nice thick slip cover thingy. And you get your typical Figma style box on the inside where you can actually see him with a piece of plastic covering everything. I heard Bobby Valla complain about that, and I definitely have a complaint about that. It's almost worthless to have the window if you're going to have the plastic, making you barely able to see it. But I want to open this. Let's open it. He is number 626. All right, here we have Link and his faces and all that stuff in this side of the packaging. The rest in here in the hands and stand in this bag with this booklet and the instruction manual. Here's Link out of the packaging. He has a lot of accessories, hence DX. I normally show how to do everything in my reviews. I won't be doing that. I'm going to show the accessory off and show an example of him using it. If there's anything you haven't seen in a video that's confusing you, let me know. I will attempt to make an effort to post something on social media that helps you out. Links in the description down below to my social media links. And in here, subscribe. But like I mentioned, he comes with a lot of accessories. A lot of weapons and other things you just need to make him this version of this Link. Now let's get to Link, and then I'm going to do an accessory parade. Here he is in this pose using Raru's arm right here, or the Zonai arm. So you can do that. It would have been nice if they gave him like an effects piece to actually make it look like he's actually using it. Luckily for me though, I collect everything, and I can use Total Anime's Deku's from My Hero Academia. His power effect right there to make it look like his hand is glowing and using power. But this doesn't come with it. It's just lucky for me. This power is called the Ultra Hand. Nintendo likes to reuse names of their actual existing products. They had a toy called the Ultra Hand, and now they called this the Ultra Hand. And then A Link to the Past, the glove you got was called the Power Glove. Let's do this close up. As you can see, he is highly detailed. Like, they didn't spare any expense with detail and putting paint where it should be. He is so multi-layered, it's crazy. Like, this belt is a separate piece. And let me just go into this before the articulation. He has double jointed knees. The upper knee joint is way looser than I would like it to be. Every other joint on the body is very, very tight. So that makes it even more frustrating. But we got this, all this stuff right here, the belts and the quiver with the arrows on it. It's separately molded, but they definitely right here glued it to his tunic down at the bottom. And they did sculpt the pants all the way up. But he is bigger and has way more articulation than I'm used to with a Figma figure. Other companies, retail-wise, were catching up to some of their techniques, so they just had to go to the next level of giving him almost Amazing Yamaguchi's techniques on top of their typical techniques. But you see the tattered arm that can come off. And we get the other arm that has this peg in it. That's another thing I'll get into. Complaint wise, it uses a ton of transparent parts, but here is that sleeve fixed now that he's out and around. Here's his hooded cape. Would have been lovely if it had wires in it, but yeah, it's nice enough. And this also uses transparent parts down there, which in order to put it on there, they used a transparent peg down there. I 100% don't like that mess. They don't give you any like extra parts if you break it. I said I wasn't going to be doing all this, but I'm going to do it for certain stuff. You can put this on there and peg the head back in. But basically here he is with the hooded cape look. Now you can't put the the hood up. They didn't add that. But he should be able to still move around with that. Unless you put on this other option if you want his sword to be there. That's why they have this piece right here. You can actually take this piece, and you see this stress mark in there already. I don't like it. You can plug it through this to keep the cape in place and have an option to put the sword on. So I like that in theory. I just don't know if I like it to be transparent. Speaking of the sword, here is the sheath, fully painted with a blue peg, thankfully. We can actually remove the actual master sword, which is highly detailed and painted. The handle pops off, round peg at the end so you can put it through the hands and don't have to worry about breaking it. So that is great. You'll have to work with that cape to get it down because of course the peg is behind that, pushing it to the side, and like I said, no bendy wire. Here's this Zonai bow that's used by like the Zonai Guardian bots. So there's that, plain and simple. You have one arrow that you can use. Here he is using this. One thing they did to make sure you don't damage the sword, it doesn't fit snugly into the sheath. So while you're trying to pose him and stuff, if you keep that sword in, it will definitely fall out because this rolls all around and moves while you're manipulating him. But to stand, there is a peg hole in his lower back as well as the top. So you can still do stuff like this if you want. I took the hood off because it just gets in the way. But if we put this little clip on right here, we can put his bow on the back like that, so you can have it stored. So they try to make these transparent. I'm gonna have to tighten those upper knees up some type of way, but floor polish. Anywho, floor polish. What I mean by floor polish, if you use clear floor polish, you can apply it to joint systems like this, let it sit for 24 hours, and then try to move it, and it should be tighter. But anywho, but they went with transparent so you can see it less, because in the video game, this stuff just magically just attaches to his back. Halayan shield again, nicely detailed. They didn't cheap out on it. It is like, feels like multi layers of plastic. These handles come off to accommodate putting the arm through. You can swap this to be right there if you want. So there's that. The handle splits into two pieces so you don't have to worry about breaking it. Here he is wielding the shield, and I switched the face. The typical import figure style. You pull the front of the hair off, pull the face off, and plug the new face back in, and put the hair back on. So yeah, there's that. That ponytail definitely gets in the way of the sword sheath because it's made out of a hard plastic. So that's one of the good things about being able to rotate that. But here's what it looks like strapped on. And these handles are unfortunately made out of clear plastic painted. So they used a ton of clear plastic. I hope it lives up and I don't have to complain about breakage later, but yeah, I don't like that. Shield clip-in system is definitely designed to work separately of this bow, but you can still get one of the cylindrical holes in the middle to peg right there, and you can get the sword, bow, and shield on his back at the same time, just like you can in the game. Before I get to the extra accessories, here he is with the smiling face right there. He will definitely probably need this when you get Zelda. If I have to complain about anything, he comes with a whole bunch of accessories, but the hand accessories are lacking. Like right now I have this Zonai hand right there that is very much designed for holding the arrow. They didn't give him a traditional clenched fist because you see that thumb still sticking up right here. So it would have been cool if they gave him a matching hand for both sides, but they very much gave you just the hands you need for the poses. I didn't go into detail on the power cells right here, but there they are. Everything's painted. As nice as the Haaland shield is and the Master Sword, you basically go through the most of the game without those. So here is a basic shield. It has a name, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know what that is right now. This strap is thicker than the one with the Haaland shield, and you still have the same options as far as putting it on the back. And here he is using the shield and this stick fused with a rock. That is not, it should have been a hollow piece, but it is not very hollow. So it is definitely weighing his arm down, to be honest. As it probably should, being a big giant boulder with a stick attached. The bottom of the stick pops off so you can put the hand through. Then we have this Zonai rocket right here. You find these all over the place. You can fuse them to other things in the world, or you can fuse them to your weapons, like you can fuse it to the shield, which you can do by pushing on this peg back there so we can get this off. So now here we are with this. I forget how you activate. I haven't played this in a while. I forget how you activate that. Add the blast effect, and now he is rocketing off. Using the clipping system, this can go on the back as well. You could rotate this to be straight up if you wanted it to look like he has on a rocket pack. Shield surfing is a thing that can happen. If somebody else did this in their video, let me know. Ascension. Link's body splits in half. This is actually a ball joint with a peg hole in it. It just pegs to the lower half of the body. You can do this. And now it can look like he's tried to ascend through the lower floor. And now he's looking around to see if this is a good spot to actually complete his journey. If you have the sword sheath, of course they don't have a half version of that, so you'll have to tilt it. Finally, the last thing to show off is his glider. And when you see this in real life, it's like, where does he pull this out of? It's a whole... Like, this doesn't look foldable, or none of this looks retractable. It's almost as big as him. In the game, he just, when you jump off a cliff, you can push the button again and he just pulls this out. So it's like, man, some of this stuff in video games is not meant to be reality. There's a bird head sculpted right there. I've never noticed that. This is just one of the patterns you can use. His hands are already permanently attached. They have these little stoppers in there, or placeholders. I don't know why they did that. They didn't even, I guess to keep the holes in the shape they're supposed to be. And of course, you just plug that into the arms. Here's what this looks like if you're interested. All right, one thing I almost forgot about. They have these ball jointed tassels that fit into the back of this, into these two ports on both sides. Suggestions: put these on before actually trying to attach it to his body. And his arms are very limited with the hands already being pre-posed, by the way. So there's that. But nice feature. And I think that's everything. Now I can get into articulation and comparisons. Alright, articulation. This guy has so many points of articulation. The hair, the ponytail can go up and down. That's a little bit loose, so yeah, it's mostly just to get out of the way of the accessories on the back. Let me lock this. He is on a universal joint at the top of the head, so you can get swivel right there. You can look up with just that, and basically the chin bumps there. Then you have the neck that's on a clear post that I showed, so you can look up that much using that. You can come down like this, and you can also tilt to the side and whatnot. Be careful. The shoulder piece is, I believe, it may be a universal or maybe just a ball joint, but you can bring the shoulders down like this. and you can bring them forward. The actual thing right here, that's on a ball and a universal, so you can get motion out of that as well. I can get his arm like that far in front of his body, go out to the side. You get rotation on this as well, but you also get a bicep swivel that is crazy tight, double jointed elbow, and a universal in the wrist that is hindered by whatever is covering that portion of the arm. The torso is on 1, 2, 3 joints, so you get motion out the top, side to side, rotation and whatnot. You can come forward, plus this bends forward, and then the ball joint I was showing y'all down here also moves forward, so he gets a ton of ab crunch. I really like it. It goes forward more than it goes back. Thank you, somebody finally listened. Get this as well with that bottom joint and rotation on all of them, so it's great. This is a softer piece, but it's still not very pliable. So luckily it's like segmented and you get drop down hips. So you are capable of kicking at least 90, kind of almost more than 90. But this part of the tunic is attached by, it is adhesed. So that did fall off on me before I started filming, and I had to glue it back on there. You can get the legs all the way out to the side, and they can go back some. You get thigh rotation, and because of the way it's sculpted better than you would typically get, because it looks like there's no thigh cut with that little ball socket thing in the middle, but it's so high up that you get a lot of swivel. Double jointed knees, like I mentioned, tight. And you kind of, you can get a little play on that. And you get the universal joint in the ankle with the ankle pivot like this. And off to the side, it can go back some, come forward, and you can rotate the foot a bit. Like I said, a little bit of play, just like in that knee. And you get the toe joint right here. Here's Link next to my other Figma links. And as I mentioned, he is bigger. He has more articulation. They started giving like the Twilight Princess Link right there more articulation and gave him height. But this, they went way out of their way to like level him up to how he would scale with a regular 6-inch retail figure, or what we call 1/12 scale. I know Link is typically a shorter person because he's not 100% adult in those timelines, but he is definitely taller and can fit in, as I'll try to show off with some other figures later. Here he is next to my Metroid Dread Samus, who I didn't realize I put this little guy with so I could find him, and coincidentally, if you watched my short, I did not find him. Here they all are if you wanted to see this, if you watched my short video. Here's a Metroid, and here is a Mecha Koopa. Here's my recently acquired Gun Girl, SH Figure Art Season 7 Deku, Mythic Legions Necronominus. I'm pretty sure their normal skeletons are probably about that same height, so that's about what Link would fight. And they have like thick bones just like those. Why am I forgetting their names? Something has skull in it. I forget what it is. Link and Fortnite. You know in the game they'd be the same height though. Here is Roach from The Witchers from McFarlane Toys. Here's what Link looks like on this horse. His feet are capable of fitting into that, but of course they're longer because they have, the McFarlane Toys have longer legs. But yeah, that's what it looks like roughly. I would suggest putting the hand on this strap first before you plug it into his arm, and definitely putting any other accessory on him last. And here's a Marvel Legends Punisher figure. This is about accurate. Link is traditionally like not all that tall. He's like probably at the most like 5'7", 5'8". Alright, end of the day, I really like this thing. They made me wait 8 years to get this version of Link, which I'm kind of happy about because they were able to make a ton of improvements to their typical design. The negative thing is the knees. I mentioned that and it's designed like an import toy and not a retail style figure. Retail style figures are made to like really handle abuse and whatnot. This is definitely designed like a delicate, like posable statue almost, with them using clear transparent parts, and things are made to pop off and swap off, so you will definitely be dealing with things falling into the floor the whole time you're messing with it. Now, if I wasn't doing a review, that wouldn't be too much of a problem, but doing a review, that's a problem for me, because the constant swapping for these different scenes and showing you guys stuff is aggravating. But ultimately, when I wasn't reviewing it, I was having fun. All the different options with the hood and all the accessories is definitely everything I wanted and needed. So I ultimately really like this thing. Anyway, if you ultimately really like watching this, make sure you don't leave without clicking like, subscribe for more types of stuff like this in the future. I have over 2,000, well over 2,000 videos, and I have tons of playlists. I have a Nintendo playlist if you want to see everything that I've done. Nintendo, Transformers, Marvel, SH Figure Arts, Figma, whatever. Thank you for watching. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here.
Click the videos, click the freaking videos, baby. Click the videos, you should really click these videos. Click the videos, click the freaking video. Click the videos, come on now.